Joining me now, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, former strategist to President Trump, now a Fox Business national security analyst. Great to have you with us. The president has some tough choices to make about, as usual, a host of events and issues. But Syria looms large, obviously, now, as he put it, over the next 24 to 48 hours, in which he says he'll make a decision.
Lou, first things first, it's truly remarkable everything this man has accomplished in 15 months, given the depths and the breadth of the swamp and the lies and the resistance to his agenda that we chose as the American people. Yeah. But now it's war, Lou. This is political warfare. What happened to lawyer-client privilege? What happened to the idea that you need a crime before you have a special prosecutor? These things have been thrown out the window, and now we have a fishing expedition that's turned into a witch hunt. So I'm glad the president has come out of the corner swinging. But when is the AG?
You wouldn't have expected anything else, would you?
No, but I want the AG to now withdraw his recusal and say this is out of bounds, this has nothing to do with your mandate, and Mueller has to be dealt with. He has to be fired, or he has to be asked, what are you investigating that has anything to do with Russia?
Let's go back to my question on Syria. What do you expect the president to do, and what would be the course that he would most likely take?
Well, as I wrote in The Hill today, the president's going to do two things. Very shortly, momentarily, he's going to take some very overt action that's going to send a very strong message to the regime and to its backers, to Russia, to Iran, and even to China.
Why does the president?
Why?
I think this president had it right when he said it's time to get out of Syria. I think this president has had it right from the moment he started campaigning for office. It is time for a humble foreign policy, not one in which we support our allies in NATO as if we had trillions of dollars in extra assets rather than $20 trillion in debt, with deficits rising, not declining.
No, I'll tell you why he's doing this. You know, he's had enough of the freeloaders in NATO, and he's dealt with that. We now have a commitment from the Secretary General that they're going to pay their fair share. But, Lou, this is a compassionate man. I know the left will never believe this, but Donald Trump is a compassionate human being.
I understand he's a compassionate man. I'm asking you, why does the United States, operating...
Let me answer.
Well, let me finish the question, because apparently I didn't get close enough. Let me take it all the way to the end of the sentence. And that is, why would this president, who has said that it is time to get out of Syria, that it is time for us to bring our horns in as the superpower in the world, why would we continue to act as George Bush acted?
No. That's not what we're talking about. Look,
it's precisely what I'm talking about, Seb. I'm talking about why in the world is it incumbent upon the president to take military action?
Because there's a scale of options. You know, 57 cruise missiles is not 160,000 U.S. troops in Iraq. And we have to understand the difference. If we think it's a binary dichotomy between isolationism and invasion, we miss the reality of the world.
Well, here's the reality, Seb, that I think you're missing. You don't launch 60 cruise missiles at Russia if you simply are outraged at its conduct geopolitically. You don't launch 60 cruise missiles at China. So why is there this predilection on the part of the national security orthodoxy in America, in both parties, to take military action because they know that they're striking at a third world country, and the military response to that will not be commensurate to the military action taken by the U.S.? It seems to me to be a quite different standard. Why is it that we have ended up in Iraq? I mean, what are we talking about?
You're not going to get me, Lou, you're not going to get me to defend the incredibly idiotic neocon policies in Iraq or even Afghanistan. I detest them.
Syria?
The idea that we're... Look, Syria is a very special case, and I'm not arguing for an Iraq-type invasion, but this man has broken a taboo on the use of chemical weapons, which is bad for you and your family, because there are non-state actors in Syria that if they get hold of those weapons, guess what, Lou? It's not going to be planes flying into buildings in New York. It's going to be chemical weapons at
I've heard that
baseball
argument.
games.
I've heard that argument, and you and I both know, Seb, that the real issue is why in the world, until President Trump was elected and went to war against the Islamic State, why is it only he, sitting in the Oval Office, was able to send out the forces of the United States and destroy the Islamic State? The question now is
very
why.
Simple.
It was a rhetorical question. And the real issue now is why in the world should he go against what he has said, his instincts, his values, and no president in my memory has ever better represented American values than this one. Why would we do anything like launch another 60 cruise missiles?
You're positing a false dichotomy, Lou. It's not an either or.
I have a habit of doing that. It is the most annoying thing I know, and I appreciate your going along with this.
Lou, look, the last 8 years showed us. I'm not arguing for big footprints. That's H.R. McMaster. But the last 8 years showed us something. A world without American leadership is a very, very dangerous world.
If we can only lead with the launch of 60 cruise missiles, we're not much of a leader.
Lou, this isn't Obama. This isn't George Bush. Trust Donald Trump. He's not an interventionist, and he never will be.
I absolutely trust President Trump. And the other names I don't even recognize from most recent surveys. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.